done September 26th would be the day of this announcement. What were the days leading up to this like?
It's been really kind of up and down for a long time over the last couple of years, but it's become exceptionally emotionally. It's just so many emotions going through right now that I hardly know what to say or how to say it. The thing is that it's come so fast. I remember we started talking about this and the possibility of this a few years ago and thinking, okay, well, we got years before this happens. All of a sudden, boom, we're here today. This is it. I mean, this is the start of the end, if you will. So it's just come so fast. Well, I mean, despite what you see, I'm not old. So, no, it has meaning. This is a special year, not only for me, but for the team and for what we've done here in Rochester. It is special, and I just hope to enjoy every moment of it, and I hope the fans enjoy every moment, and we put a great product on the ice for you.
So, when you got here, in our business, a lot of times, you don't know how long you're going to be in any one place. If you look back and think what it's like to be here 40 years, what this city has meant to you, what this team has meant to you, could you have ever imagined that when you walked in the door the first time?
I always tell the story about my wife asked me, we were coming from the West Coast, and she said, well, how long are we going to be there? And I said, 2 years max. So, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's 40 years. No, I never figured I would be here this long. Certainly, I think that I always had the goal of most people in our business, and that's to make it to the NHL. And certain things happen, and it didn't happen. So, but you know what? As it turns out, in the end, it's like a godsend that I was here, and maybe even got stuck here, because I don't think I could have done any better in life than what has happened here.
What went into making the decision?
So, I've never liked to listen to myself, and I never liked to look at videos of myself, and that it just sends shivers up and down my back. But I've heard over the last couple of years a few tapes, and I thought, this is just not living up to what my expectations are, or what I feel that I should be doing. I felt like, although I didn't feel like it was terrible, it just wasn't as good as it had been. I didn't feel that the youthful enthusiasm was there anymore. And I've said all the way along that I don't want to embarrass the team. I don't want to embarrass myself. And the other part of it being, you kind of want to go out as close to on top as you can. And I just don't feel that I could be any more on top than I am right now. So it just, before as I said in the video, before I start that downhill slide even further, I figure it's time. It's just time. It's been a long time, a lot of years, a lot of miles. So it's just time. I think the team deserves, once again, some youthful enthusiasm.
When you talk about the years and the miles, it can be grinding, right? It has been. It's the travel and all the things that go with it. But at some point, I'm sure you'll put that aside and think about the positives and all the things. What will you miss of those things in terms of when you're done coming into this place every day, doing the games every week? What do you think you're going to miss the most about this sport and this place?
You know, just about every player or coach or whatever I've ever interviewed and asked that question says the same thing. The guys, the players, the locker room. I think that's what I will miss the most. As far as the travel is concerned, I've often said that if I'd been in the NHL on the charter birds, I'd have at least another 10 years in me. So the travel has been really tough, and I think that's probably the one of the major decisions, and that's why Andrew's doing all of the great trips now. So the long bus rides, and I'm not doing them as much anymore. So that's been the toughest part. But it's just been I've been so blessed with such a great career.
What's your finest memories you're going to take?
As far as the amateurs are concerned, most memorable to me was my first year here. Winning the championship on the last night of the season, and coming back after that game that night, we couldn't get the bus across the bridge out here to get into the building because it was just packed across the whole bridge with people. And then we go into the playoffs and we win it in Game 7 in Sherbrooke, and we come back and the plane lands at the airport, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and it's freezing out, and it's just throngs of people at the airport to greet us. And then the parade, it was such a line of the parade down the main street over here, and the I call it the best birthday party I've ever had. Happened to be on my birthday, May 26th, the championship celebration here at the Blue Cross Arena, and they closed the doors after 10,000 whatever were in the building, and it was just it was a special. That first year, it just was storybook.
Did your accidental retirement post prepare you for this?
Thank you very much for bringing that up. I really appreciate it. So I guess the comment would be, so now I'm announcing my retirement for real this time. So that was, I can still picture myself sitting on the bus all by myself, sending out the text and saying, what did I say? So that's a wrap on 50 years of broadcasting. Never thinking that that people didn't figure out there was going to be a 51st year. They all thought that was it. And just thousands and thousands of messages of people congratulating me on my retirement. And then I get a call from Warren saying, "Did you just retire?" And this is like 5 minutes after I send out that text, and I'm still sitting in Toronto on the bus, and I said, "No." And he says, "Well, I've had a call from 3 TV stations and all these media people about how you've just announced your retirement." So I sent out a message saying, "No, I didn't retire." But you know what? I don't think anybody saw that message.
All the great calls, is there one that sticks out in your mind? And on the opposite side of that, is there one you wish you had back? All the calls.
No. I wish I could answer that, but there's been no one particular call that's been great. I don't think there's been a lot of calls where I've made mistakes. Yeah, I've said, "Oh, that one in the upper right corner," and then see the replay and it's down along the ice, and trickles through the 5-hole and that. So some of those, but there's been so many of those I couldn't pick one out in particular. But I'm sorry to put you off on that question, but I don't know how to answer.
You have a distinct style. Everybody here knows it. Do people ever come up to you with your no calls or anything you say in the game and do that to you? And what do you think of that? What do you hear?
It wasn't very long ago. I guess maybe 3 years ago or so. I was in line at the grocery store, and all of a sudden, he scores right behind me. So, and the people that standing around, they're looking. Half of them didn't even know who I was. But so I get quite a few of those. Yeah.
You have been, we keep talking about how this is your 40th year as the voice of the Rochester Americans, but to your point, as you talked about a little bit here, you've been calling games for almost 60. I feel like as a broadcaster, you're often asked to remember things going into the game. That's part of your prep. I know this is maybe the challenging way you can put yourself back in the shoes of a young Don Stevenson, Don Aiken. In Alberta, growing up as a kid, when did the dream of wanting to be on radio start, and how has that dream lived up in reality?
Well, yeah, coming from a farm in Alberta, to this day, I've never dreamed of being on the radio. It's just something that has happened, and because my mother said, "You like to talk a lot, why don't you get into broadcasting?" And I didn't know what I was going to do, so okay. So I got into broadcasting, but it was never anything that I dreamed about or in particular. It was just something, and like I always say, it's something I'm doing till I figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. And of course, I've never grown up, so it's been something that I have done that has meant my life to me that I never expected. It's just been such a somebody was leading me down a path that I didn't know I should go on, and I'm so thankful for that.